In the late 1980s, when American streets were filled with loud V8 muscle cars, flashy paint jobs, hood scoops, and aggressive badges, one car quietly rewrote the rules of performance. It didn't scream for attention. It didn't wear racing stripes. It didn't even try to look fast. Yet at stoplights across America, this car shocked Mustangs, embarrassed Camaros, and humbled Corvettes. This is the story of the 1987 Buick Grand National, a car so deadly in silence that enthusiasts still call it one of the greatest sleeper cars ever built. A machine that proves speed doesn't need noise, and power doesn't need permission. The American automotive era it was born into, the Buick Grand National was born during a strange but fascinating time in American automotive history. The late 1970s and early 1980s were dominated by emissions regulations, fuel economy concerns, and declining horsepower. Muscle cars had lost their bite, and many enthusiasts believed the golden age of performance was over. Yet General Motors quietly allowed Buick to experiment with something radical: turbocharging. While everyone else was clinging to large V8 engines, Buick engineers chose a smaller V6 and focused on forced induction, efficiency, and torque. The Grand National wasn't built to follow trends, it was built to challenge them. Exterior design, dark, quiet, and intimidating. At first glance, the Buick Grand National looked almost boring. Finished almost exclusively in deep black paint, it carried no loud graphics, no oversized spoilers, and no visual aggression. The body lines were simple, boxy, and conservative. The kind of car you'd expect to see driven by a middle-aged executive, not a street racing legend. But that blacked-out chrome, subtle badging, and menacing stance gave it an unspoken presence. It didn't need to shout. The Grand National looked like a car that knew exactly what it was capable of and didn't feel the need to prove it. Interior, luxury with a hidden edge step inside the Buick Grand National, and you're greeted by a cabin that feels more luxury cruiser than street fighter. Plush seats, soft materials, and a calm, comfortable layout define the interior. This was a Buick, after all, a brand known for comfort, not chaos. But hidden within that calm environment were performance-focused gauges and subtle cues that hinted at something more serious. The Grand National allowed drivers to cruise comfortably on the highway, then unleash chaos with a simple press of the accelerator. It was a dual personality car long before that term became popular. Engine, the Turbo Phi, 6 that shocked V8 America. At the heart of the 1987 Buick Grand National sat one of the most underestimated engines ever built, a 3.8-liter turbocharged V6. On paper, it didn't sound impressive in an era obsessed with V8 displacement. But reality told a very different story. With turbocharging, advanced engine management for its time, and massive torque delivery, this V6 produced power that rivaled, and often beat, much larger engines. Official numbers were conservative, but real-world performance revealed the truth. This engine wasn't built for marketing brochures, it was built to dominate the streets. Turbocharging, power that arrived without warning. What made the Grand National truly terrifying was how its power arrived. There was no loud buildup, no dramatic revving, no warning. Once the turbo spooled, the car surged forward with relentless force. That sudden wave of torque caught competitors completely off guard. Drivers in Mustangs and Camaros would underestimate the quiet Buick until it launched ahead, leaving nothing but confusion behind. The turbo system transformed the Grand National into a weapon that thrived on surprise, making it one of the most effective sleeper cars of its era. Transmission built to handle the abuse. The Grand National was paired with a robust automatic transmission designed to handle serious torque. While manual transmissions often get more respect among enthusiasts, this automatic setup was perfectly suited for brutal straight-line performance. It delivered consistent launches, smooth power delivery, and durability under pressure. In street races, that reliability mattered more than driver skill. The Buick didn't need fancy shifting techniques. It simply worked every time, without drama. Suspension and handling, straight-line focus. The Buick Grand National wasn't designed to carve corners like a European sports car. Its suspension was tuned for stability, comfort, and straight-line dominance. While it could handle everyday driving with ease, its true strength lay in launching hard and staying planted under acceleration. This focus made perfect sense for a car that earned its reputation at stoplights and drag strips rather than racetracks. The Grand National knew its purpose and executed it flawlessly. Why it was the perfect sleeper. The Grand National succeeded as a sleeper because it broke expectations. Buick wasn't supposed to be fast. Luxury sedans weren't supposed to dominate muscle cars. Turbo V6 engines weren't supposed to beat V8s. Yet this car did all of it quietly, consistently, and without attention. People underestimated it because they didn't understand it. And that misunderstanding became its greatest weapon. The Grand National didn't need intimidation. It relied on disbelief. Street reputation, a legend built on embarrassment. Throughout the late 1980s, stories spread across America of an unassuming black Buick humiliating far more aggressive cars. Street racers learned the hard way that looks meant nothing. The Grand National became infamous not because it was flashy, but because it was effective. Winning races without drawing attention made it dangerous and unforgettable. Its reputation wasn't built in advertisements, it was built on asphalt. Reliability, power that didn't fall apart. One of the most impressive aspects of the Buick Grand National was not just how fast it was, but how well it handled that power over time. Many high-performance cars of the era could deliver speed, but often at the cost of reliability. The Grand National was different. Its turbocharged V6 proved to be surprisingly durable when properly maintained, and owners quickly realized this wasn't a fragile experiment. It was a solid, well-engineered drivetrain capable of taking abuse and still coming back for more. This reliability turned a fast car into a trustworthy one, a rare combination in the 1980s. Build quality. Classic GM solidity. The Grand National was built on GM's G-body platform, a structure shared with many other American cars of the era. While this platform wasn't exotic, it was proven, simple, and strong. The body panels, frame, and overall construction reflected the engineering philosophy of the time. Straightforward and serviceable. This meant the car could be worked on easily, modified without complication, and kept running for decades. Today, many Grand Nationals are still on the road, a testament to the solid foundation they were built upon. Fuel economy, a surprising advantage. In a time when performance usually meant terrible fuel economy, the Grand National offered a surprising balance. Thanks to its smaller displacement engine and turbocharging, it could deliver respectable mileage when driven calmly. This made it not just a weekend toy, but a car you could realistically drive every day. That practicality further strengthened its sleeper identity. It didn't just beat fast cars, it did so while being livable, affordable, and efficient by 1980s standards. The GNX, when Buick removed all restraint. In 1987, Buick decided to take things even further with the creation of the Buick GNX. Built in limited numbers, the GNX represented the ultimate evolution of the Grand National concept. It featured upgraded turbo systems, improved suspension, and more aggressive tuning. Officially rated at higher power, many believe the GNX was far more powerful than Buick admitted. The GNX wasn't just fast, it was terrifying. Today, it stands as one of the most collectible American cars ever built. Why Buick ended the Grand National despite its success and growing reputation, the Grand National's story was surprisingly short. After 1987, Buick ended production. Part of this decision came from changing market trends, internal GM politics, and the desire to reposition Buick as a luxury brand rather than a performance threat. But in many ways, ending the Grand National preserved its legend. It never had a chance to fade into mediocrity. It left at its peak. The impact on muscle car culture. The Grand National changed how enthusiasts thought about performance. It proved that raw displacement wasn't everything. Turbocharging, torque, and smart engineering could outperform traditional muscle. This lesson would echo into the future, influencing everything from modern turbocharged engines to today's sleeper builds. The Grand National didn't just win races, it changed minds. Modern respect, why it still matters today. Decades later, the Buick Grand National remains deeply respected. Collectors hunt for clean examples. Tuners push its platform to extreme levels, and younger enthusiasts continue to discover its story online. In a modern world full of computerized performance, the Grand National represents a raw, mechanical era where power felt immediate and personal. It hasn't been forgotten, it's been immortalized. Driving experience, raw, direct, and unfiltered. Driving a Grand National today is a reminder of how different cars used to feel. There are no digital filters, no driving modes, no artificial enhancements. You feel the turbo build, the torque hit, and the car surge forward. It's an experience that demands respect and rewards confidence. This rawness is exactly why the Grand National still feels exciting decades later. Final verdict, the ultimate vintage sleeper. The 1987 Buick Grand National wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy, and it didn't beg for attention, but it delivered results when it mattered most. It embarrassed faster-looking cars, challenged V8 dominance, and rewrote the rules of American performance. In the world of vintage sleepers, few cars come close to its impact. The Grand National didn't just hide its power, it weaponized it. Ending, a legend built in silence. The Buick Grand National stands as proof that true greatness doesn't need noise, it doesn't need validation, and it doesn't need to explain itself. It simply performs. Long after the echoes of louder cars have faded, the quiet legend of the Grand National continues to grow. And that's why it will always be remembered as one of the most dangerous sleepers ever built.